Hello everybody, Hassan here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to take a look at Intellia Therapeutics second quarter 2025 financial results, business updates, the recent company's progress. I want to talk about it all here in this video. Now, before we jump into today's video, guys, I do want to apologize for yesterday's video. The microphone was kind of off. Someone commented on YouTube, and I kind of expected like 4 comments from it as I played back the video yesterday. I was like, man, the audio is so bad, but at that point it was too late, right? I recorded it, so hopefully today is a lot better. I did test it a couple of times, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe the microphone here was kind of, I don't know, like buggy or something. Uh, Rest assured, I am back in my regular office here throughout, starting tomorrow, as I've been on the road here in Montreal. So webcam will be back, and so on. We'll be back to a regular schedule. So, guys, nonetheless, here, let's jump right into it. So, and I'm coding here. Enrollment in global phase 3 magnitude trial for NextZ in AATR continues to track ahead of projections, tracking to enroll at least 750 patients by year end. The expansion of the total enrollment of this study is actually 1,200 patients, subject to health authority review with no extended impact on previous project enrollment or financial runway. So no impact on the financial runway despite increasing significantly the total enrollment. This is pretty big. Expected to enroll by first half of 2026 for global phase 3 magnitude 2 study for NextZ, which is their ATTR program, and the PN one. This was the CM one, this is the PN one. Expected to completely randomization in the global phase 3 of the study for Lonvo Z for HAE in the third quarter. Additional data for phase 1, phase 2 for Lonvo Z, longer term data for phase 1 study evaluating NextZ for CM and PN expected in the second half of 2025. So looks like the second half of this year, guys, we're about to get additional data for phase 1, phase 2 for Lonvo Z, HAE, which we already knew. We talked about it back in June with our interview with Gene Investing with Anthony. And now we're going to be for sure getting also data for additional data for NextZ, for CM and P, and for AATR in the second half of 2025. I do want to remind viewers we are already in the second half of 2025. This probably hits about in the next 2 months, right? I'd be very surprised if that data comes in December. My suspicion is probably around October, usually a good time frame, October, November. Again, we don't have inside information here. I'm kind of speculating here. It just doesn't make sense to release it just before the holidays, but who knows? And now, one big thing here is they're ending the second quarter with $635 million in cash in the balance sheet, which is expected to run all the way in the first half of 2027. So we're looking at basically almost 2 years of cash runway, assuming they burn the cash in the burn rate they have and that they don't literally raise a single dollar or even establish any sort of partnership, which I have a hard time believing, but who knows. But look at this, guys. In the first commercial launch of 2027, that's going to be big, guys. We'll get back to this in just a second. So uh, let's read a quote here from the leader and CEO, John Leonard. Here we are, and I quote here, we are exceeding many of our internal expectations. The enthusiasm for both patients and physicians for NTLA's late stage program has resulted in strong enrollment numbers that allows us to plan to enhance phase 3 magnitude trial for ATTR-CM and accelerate completion of phase 3 of Halio study in HAE ahead of our original plans. We are full steam ahead in achieving our mission of getting one-time therapies to more patients and of course. So guys, this is kind of the same vibe I got from CRISPR Therapeutics and even Beam Therapeutics press release are exceeding internal expectation. I'm getting the same vibe from these companies. I think these companies are doing something correct, right? And of course, one-time treatment. That's what a lot of folks in this channel want to hear, and that's what we're gonna get, guys. So this is pretty cool. Now, I do want to kind of highlight this point here from, and now they kind of break down obviously their HAE program, the ATTR, whether that's CM or PN. But for the HAE guys, look at this, guys. The company is on track to submit a BLA in the second half of 2026. So again, I know I made that bold statement from Beam Therapeutics, but let's just go through this exercise here. Let's say they submit the BLA. Again, second half could be August 2026, right? So let's just go way too bullish, right? Just because it's an interesting thought process. Let's say they submit the BLA. Okay, they're getting all this amazing data. Okay, of course, it's subject to all the remaining data follow-up they need to present. But let's just say the data's been amazing, it's been consistent with what they've been showing so far, nothing crazy has happened, maybe a little bit of hiccup, but everything seems pretty good. You go ahead and submit the BLA by August 2026. Well, I do want to remind viewers that the FDA went from 10 to 12 months of review to 1 to 2 months. So technically, you could see a world where HAE program, Lonvo-Z for NTLA 2002, previously known, is going to be FDA approved by November or December of 2026. Just let that sink in, guys. That also corresponds to our bullish case in yesterday's video with Beam. So already there, guys, you're starting to see a path here where now you're going to have potentially two additional CRISPR therapies, one-time therapies for the CRISPR landscape approved by end of 2026. Now, I know I'm being bullish. I know this is not even the base case or, of course, the bears case. But just bear with me, right? Just think about that for a second, right? And you got to remember for a space where it's been beat down in stocks, people are looking for bull cases. People are looking for bull stories, right? Investors are not going to invest in this space if all they can see is the base case, which is, oh, yeah, it's going to take until 2027, end of 2027 to potentially get it approved. That's not what investors want to see. They're trying to formulate this bull case. I mean, I think ARK Investor working with that bull case. If they weren't, then CRISPR, three combined companies, CRISPR Therapeutics, Beam Therapeutics, and Intellia wouldn't be number two in their top holdings. All right. They clearly believe in those three companies. They clearly believe in CRISPR, and I think they clearly are running with the bull case that I just presented to you guys. So very, very interesting, guys. So a couple of other updates before I jump in gene investing thread here on X. NTLA here, this is for ATTRP CM, and I quote here, NTLA expects to present long-term data for ATTR CM patients in the phase 1 study of second half 2025. The data will include updated measure of clinical safety and efficiency, and of course a lot more data enrollment here ahead of schedule for the PN one. They go, of course, in details. I don't want to go all the whole press release, guys. Please do read it on your own. It's very is important you stay up to date with it. So let's jump right into the thread here from the earnings call. A couple of updates here. Perhaps, and I'm quoting here, perhaps the biggest news of the earnings call, news on one patient that caused bears to have wet dreams, have Adam to get warm and fuzzy there inside, reiterate that this was not a serious issue and patients has returned to baseline, remains in the study, is doing well. Remember, the stock went down 20% of this. Also important to note, they made no mention of other patients having similar problems. And of course, we talked about this with Gene Investing Anthony in our interview back in June, and I'm really happy this got cleared up. Let's continue here, and I quote here. Whoa, NTLA is now flat out saying they expect to do interim analysis for ATTR-CM. This is a big deal, especially with the new enrollment number, 765 to 1,200, because interim analysis could lead to approval sooner than the 30-month endpoint will allow. My hunch is it'll still be at 24 months. I'm not super familiar with interim analysis and how it works with the FDA, PDUFA dates. Does anyone know? Okay, so this is kind of interesting. I'm not gonna juggle too much into it, but that's an interesting questioning. Another good post was, whoa, 41 patients screened in April alone, 60 patients HAE phase 3. A majority of those patients are coming from leading therapies, which shows patients are willing to risk a new treatment to gain superior outcomes. So this was kind of something we definitely talked about, me and Anthony there, that we talked about it was that patients going to opt in for those one-time treatment, right? Patients, whether that's of course with Lonvo Z or Next Z, they want this one-time treatment. We saw John Leonard, CEO of this company, say there's no short of demand. The demand is there. The question is, will the supply be there from NTLA? Of course, we cannot answer that without an FDA-approved program yet, but that's something to be seen. So lots of demand in this space here. So I'll finish up here with a couple of highlights here. I was hoping for 70, and I'm quoting here, I was hoping 65 would only go up to 1,200 is a huge increase. I agree with that. Uh, Positives, they increased the previous 550 plus by year end 2025 guidance to 650 plus. That's a huge increase, guys. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's 100 plus patients enrolled. Very nice to see they accelerated their PN guidance in the first half of 2026 completion instead of 2026. It's a small trial, so it should be done by then. I'll expect first quarter 2026. Giving 100,250 patients free Next is like giving $2.5 billion free to the healthcare system. Unheard of. Yeah, that's you could literally make a whole video on just that statement, right? Cash going down 630 million from 707 million is good. I still need to find out why cash only went down 76 million. I mean, I'm gonna take a guess. Some operating cut expenses, some reduction expenses, slowdown expansion, maybe a little bit of turnover. I mean, I'm just making some guesses here. Uh, September 25, 6, 26 will present even further PN data in Italy. No specific data for HAE-CM, but expected early for CM and around the same time earlier for HAE. Yeah, we don't have specific dates there, but I think a ballpark is maybe most we can ask for at this point. Okay, so this is some stock stuff. So this is pretty good, guys. I'm really excited for the space, guys. Like, look, I'm kind of repeating myself from yesterday's video, but just so exciting, guys, to have two CRISPR programs, additional programs approved by 2026. Bullish case, end of 2026. Worst case, sometime later in 2027. That's the worst case. And think about it, that's still 2 years, and only 2 years. It's not a long time, guys. Think about it. 2 years ago, we had zero FDA program approved. CRISPR Therapeutics had just submitted their filings for the FDA approved, and it took them like what 8-9 months for the FDA to approve it, something crazy like that. So lots of exciting things happening, guys, in the CRISPR landscape. I really think we're kind of in this crossing the chasm moment, right? I really feel that. Um, I'm speaking to a lot of folks in this space on a daily basis, and they feel the same. So I'm feeling this, and it is, of course, still kind of in the early stages of the bull market. We had a little bit of down period here in end of mid and end of July, kind of picked up a little bit recently, but still trading sideways since then. But guys, long term is the key. Long term is everything for CRISPR. Stay up to date, guys. Please do like this video, subscribe if you haven't. Give me your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think in the comments below? Let me know. What do you guys think about NTLA business updates? What do you guys think about what's happening in this space? I'm curious to see what are your thoughts, guys. I'm always learning from you guys. Someone said something about how an insider bought some shares of CRISPR Therapeutics this week. I'm gonna make a video of that throughout this week here. That's going to be my next video. So I'm always learning from you guys. Please do let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Have a beautiful Sunday. It is kind of beautiful here in Montreal, wherever you are. Have a great Sunday, guys. Again, please do like this video. Put some our videos on people's homepage. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you.